Good morning, everybody, and this is your DAX day trade setups for today. So we are sideways. There is no two ways about this. There's a bottom end of the range. Here is the top end of the range, and you can see there it is there. So we were there. We broke the downside and we broke the upside. And if you just put another level at the bottom here, it's quite typical price action at the moment. So range between two levels, drop to the next two levels, range between those, back up here. So this could be the formation of an inverse head and shoulders, but obviously we need to get above 1600 for that to happen. Okay, so that could be what is brewing here. And if you look at where the moving averages are at the moment, the crossover we have, that's kind of what this is telling us. And then if you look at the separation here of the oscillator, that's also kind of telling us the same thing. We do have a big gap here, which I would be a little bit concerned about. So yesterday we did say we'd feel a lot more comfortable with that gap closing, and that would be below 15,700. So I'm kind of between a rock and a hard place, because then if you look at it this way, more bullish structure here, so there's a strong move up, and then if you put your diagonals in along this, you've got a flag. So big move up, flag. I'd expect this to move up, and that would validate the inverse head and shoulders. However, when we start dropping down through the time frames on the 3 hour, we have a head and shoulders here below the moving averages with a crossover. The only bullish thing is that we are oversold at the moment. So this area here is of pretty extreme importance. That's 15,782. If we start bouncing off here, then I would expect us back to the top to 1600, which is going to complete the right shoulder of the bigger pattern. However, as I said, you've got another head and shoulders. Here's your left shoulder, here's your here's your left shoulder, here's your head, and here's your right shoulder, which is completed yesterday, and this is the line in the sand for that. So it's 15,825. So you've got two fairly important levels, literally 43 points apart. So I'm kind of very wary for the shorts, to be honest, even though it is a downward trend. And if you look at the hour, the thing is we're breaking above moving averages, back below, above moving averages, back below. And we've been doing that for a couple of days, so I'd be very, very cautious of this area here. And the oscillator is also telling you the same thing. So I think the wise move this morning is, for any longs, I want to see us get above 15,825. So I basically want to see us build a base above this area yesterday for a move to the upside. But you see what happened yesterday. Big up, big down. So that is a rejection bar on the daily. Big one. There it is there. With the continuation that's forming already. And then look at the crossover here. So it's really a mixed bag. Daily is just saying, right, we are now moving to the downside. And there's a nice big juicy gap there. And then when you start running through the rest of the time frames, you start getting a little bit of a different picture. This is a complete different picture at the moment. This is a strong move up, flag. And obviously we need to wait for the break for that to happen. But anyway, I think the confusion is still very much intact. You've got a lot of gaps here, but then you've got gaps to the downside as well. So, the trend is down, so argument should be, if we get a rejection of 15,825, it's short, but I'd be very careful of this area here, 15,782. The other scenario would be to break through this and come back and test it. Then this bigger head and shoulders is definitely on. Then the trend should be down for another day or two, and I would be looking for this area here, to be honest. That's going to be 15,706. That's kind of my view at the moment. You can go either way, But if you look at this on the 1 hour, this is a head and shoulders pattern that has broken this morning, has broken after hours, so take it with a pinch of salt. So if you do get a retest of this 15825, then you have the opportunity for another short, and probably all the way down to 15706 area. There are gaps here. There's one there, and then there's a bigger gap here on the, I think it's on the 8 hour, or yeah, there we go. On the 8 hour, that gap is wide open, so that could be a little bit more of a magnet. Lastly, in actual fact, just to add more fuel to the bearish fire, there's your 61.8 there, so that's just above this level. Anyway, whichever way you're going to trade this, just make sure you take the trade. And now I can't delete this. Just make sure that you take the trade that is there. Don't try and invent something. So in other words, wait for the retest, wait for the price action structure. You want an inside bar, you want a pin bar, you want an engulfing bar, and then you want to get in on that. Okay, anyway, that's it for me. Hope it helps, and we'll catch up with you tomorrow morning. Cheers for now.